Imagine a venerable discipline that promised to unravel the hidden secrets of human society, but today seems to drown in its own ideology. Is sociology in principle an impartial science, or has it in practice become an armed instrument of political activism? Today in this video, we closely examine the sharp, incisive vision of sociologist Jukka Savolainen, a professor at Wayne State University, who in his 2026 article published in Theory and Society, titled, "Freedom's Just Another Word for Nothing Left to Lose, How to Reverse the Closing of the Sociological Imagination," diagnoses a deep, troubling crisis within academic sociology, especially in the United States today. Savolainen is not an outsider. To the contrary, he is a recognized expert in criminology and sociology with decades of rigorous, methodical research. His argument is clear and devastating. Sociology has been ideologically captured by progressive activism that prioritizes political agendas over scientific truth. As professionals, we cannot ignore this. If we value the integrity of our discipline, we must confront this reality with honesty and resolve. In this analysis, I will persuade you with historical evidence, carefully chosen examples, and practical, viable proposals demonstrating that Savolainen is right, and that only a structural reform of institutions, curricula, and incentives can save sociology from further deterioration. Let us break it down step by step. Let us begin at the heart of the problem, as Savolainen explains. Academic sociology is no longer a neutral science. It has transformed into an instrument of political activism, where the fashionable explanations, as those that emphasize systemic oppressions in crime, gender, and race, are consistently and systematically favored, while alternative perspectives are marginalized or silenced. A Savolainen signature quotation reads aloud, "Academic sociology has been stifled by ideological capture." This is not a trivial accusation. In fact, it is a careful, evidence-grounded diagnosis based on observable patterns that many scholars have repeatedly noted. For example, in criminology, a field in which Savolainen has long held clear mastery, studies that question progressive narratives about police violence or racial disparities are subjected to intensive, painstaking scrutiny, while errors in investigations aligned with activist agendas are routinely forgiven. Remember the Regnerus case from 2012. His study on parenting in same-sex couples was attacked by more than 200 researchers for its uncomfortable findings, not for grave methodological flaws. By contrast, frauds aligned with progressive agendas are frequently treated with unwarranted indulgence. Savolainen refers to the Mertonian norms of science, Robert K. Mertens in 1968, that require universalism, communalism, disinterestedness, and organized skepticism, norms that have long guided scientific communities around the world. Today, sociology violates these norms by prioritizing activism over impartiality, substituting advocacy for objectivity in many debates. In matters of gender, for instance, biologically or culturally neutral explanations are dismissed as conservative, thereby effectively closing the door to genuine inquiry and open debate. This is not science, it is dogmatism. As professionals, can we allow our discipline to gradually become an ideological echo chamber that redirects inquiry away from unbiased examination? Savolainen demonstrates that this capture is not accidental. It is the outcome of sustained militant pressures that punish dissent, thereby steadily diminishing the overall quality of knowledge produced within the contemporary field today. The consequences of this ideological capture are devastating, and Savolainen documents them with remarkable precision. First, enrollment has declined. Sociology is perceived as a more lamented major, with students fleeing toward more rigorous disciplines. In the United States, the number of sociology graduates has fallen dramatically, while fields such as psychology or economics continue to hold their broad appeal. Second, the loss of public credibility. The dominant perception is that sociology serves an ideological agenda, not the pursuit of truth. Examples: the Florida scandal in 2024, where sociology was removed from general courses for being kidnapped by left-wing activists, or debates about DEI programs, criticized by figures such as Christopher Rufo. Savolainen argues that this politicization isolates sociology from other social sciences that have begun reforms, such as psychology with its crisis of replicability. Third, a persistent methodological stagnation. In a companion article published in 2025, Savolainen explicitly and convincingly links a persistent leftist bias to a chronic lack of innovation. The methodological stagnation of sociology is related to its left-wing skew. Without pluralism, the discipline continues to stagnate, continually producing biased knowledge that steadily erodes public trust. For professionals like us, this serves as a grave, urgent warning. If we fail to act now, sociology could become entirely irrelevant, turning into nothing more than an ideological relic rather than a vital, widely used tool for understanding society. But not all is lost. Savolainen offers a historically persuasive and well-supported model, the Denmark case. In the year 1986, the Danish government closed the sociology departments at the University of Copenhagen due to their entanglement with neo-Marxist activism. According to Savolainen, this intervention was not a political purge, but rather a policy-oriented measure intended to restore the integrity of scientific inquiry. The departments were subsequently rebuilt in the 1990s under rigorous criteria, and today they stand as international references for the field, as documented by Kropp and Hudra in 2022. Quote, "This enduring and widely referenced precedent clearly justifies external intervention whenever abuse seriously undermines the integrity of the system." Savolainen analogizes this to other institutions, arguing that whenever a hospital abuses its own autonomy, intervention should rightly follow. The same is true for academia. This is not a call for censorship, but for limiting autonomy when it compromises the scientific mission. For skeptical professionals, consider, hasn't it worked in Denmark? Danish sociology flourished after reform, demonstrating that external intervention can revive a moribund discipline. Savolainen does not settle for simply diagnosing the issue. He advocates concrete, nonpartisan remedies that draw on Merton's ideas and the principles of open science. As a first step, he proposes the creation of heterodox research centers designed to guarantee ideological diversity, thereby welcoming and protecting divergent perspectives without fear of retaliation. Second, externally independent guidance intended to rigorously monitor and safeguard quality and neutrality, ensuring that no department becomes echo chambers. Thirdly, highly competitive funding systems that consistently and verifiably reward true objectivity, transparency, and replicability, and not militant agendas. Fourth, to recover and restore the sociological imagination without ideological filters, and to foster open and constructive debates. Savolainen emphasizes that, "I am not calling for ideological purge, but restoring sociology as a science." These reforms are viable and proven. As in Denmark, they prioritize integrity over absolute autonomy. For us, professionals, this is a clear and pressing call to action. Let us implement them so that sociology becomes credible and relevant once again. In short, Jukka Savolainen persuades us with irrefutable and compelling evidence. Sociology is in a deep crisis due to ideological capture, with real and lasting consequences, such as a marked decline and widespread discredit. The case of Denmark demonstrates that external reforms can indeed work, and its proposals, pluralism, open science, are the clear path forward. There is no time for tribal defenses. Now is the moment to restore our discipline as a rigid, unbiased science that truly serves society. If you're a sociologist, a seasoned academic, or a policymaker, join the debate, read Savolainen's article, and promote heterodox centers at your institution. Sociology has nothing to lose if it embraces real freedom. Subscribe for deeper, more thorough analyses, share if you find it convincing, and please comment. Do you think sociology needs reform? We tirelessly fight for scientific truth.